Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler, and once again, we're doing a supplemental episode here on episode 21, The Making of Star Wars. We've already done point 1 through point 4, 4 different additional supplemental episodes to look at the different instances in which the making of Star Wars, as told by C-3PO and R2-D2, wound up on a double feature disc with SPFX, The Empire Strikes Back. We looked at it on CED, on LaserDisc, on VHS, and on Betamax. And as I acquired them slowly over time, each one got its own quick little supplemental episode. I don't want to spend too much time on it this time because we have seen it so often, but I have finally been able to acquire a sort of a middle ground release in what we've looked at. We've seen the original from 1979 and then the reissue from 1980 on VHS, and we've seen those double features from 1982 on those 4 different formats. But between there, back when Magnetic Video was still the group putting out that particular pair of specials, we had another LaserDisc release, and it's one that often causes confusion for those who are trying to collect things now, at least when it comes to US releases. So when we looked at the LaserDisc version of those specials back in episode 21.2 a long time ago, what we saw was this. Okay? The Making of Star Wars, SPFX, The Empire Strikes Back. So that standard-looking LaserDisc packaging here with 20th Century Fox Video up there at the top because they hadn't switched yet to the CBS Fox logo and all that kind of stuff here. Okay? So we saw this. This is what we often look for when we're looking for this on LaserDisc. But this is the one for 20th Century Fox Video with that branding. Magnetic Video put out a version prior to that as their part of 20th Century Fox Video, and that meant that there was one out there with their label on it that looks a little bit different. That, my new acquisition, is this. Okay, this was the 1981 release of this double feature, the first time the double feature was released in the US. It says stereo, electronically rechanneled for stereo. It's interesting, this is actually originally in mono, and they rechanneled it to make it stereo, so they had to have that little sort of quasi-disclaimer on there instead of just saying stereo, because it wasn't originally designed in stereo. Then we have our title, The Making of Star Wars, as told by C-3PO and R2-D2. Underneath it, SPFX, The Empire Strikes Back, of course. Extended play, CLV disc. There's 20th Century Fox logo here in the corner. Laser video disc up here, with LaserVision logo. Nothing in this corner, and then MC. That is that later version of the Magnetic Video Corporation logo. It says Magnetic Video, a 20th Century Fox company. And you flip it over, and the back also looks a little different. Okay? And that design here, this design to more look like what we see in 1982 with the release of A New Hope. And then we've got this one that shifts the location of things and puts certain logos in red here. Okay? So we have our logos, who hosts, a few pictures about it and so forth, and then our legalese and such down there at the bottom, again dated 1981. As for the disc itself, we take it out of here, take it out of its protective case. Yeah, I know, I just touched it. Oh, my God. And there we go. A different thing here. Magnetic Video Corporation, white and red label. One special per side. Now, lastly, I would note here, for those of you who are collectors like I am, this is a US version. If you see one of these, where instead of Magnetic Video in this corner, it has a 20th Century Fox Video logo down here, but it still has the weird sort of circular thing going on up here, that is not a US release. That is the Japanese version of this. In Japan, they basically took this packaging, swapped out this for the 20th Century Fox logo, and went ahead and released it over there, whereas over here, after this release, we got this one instead with a different packaging style. They are not the same thing, though. The US one from 1981 must have Magnetic Video Corporation's logo on the bottom corner, or that is not the US release. That's what actually made this a little bit tougher to find, because I had to wait for one that actually had Magnetic Video on it. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Hopefully that is a little bit enlightening, and maybe that's the last time we'll see an episode 21 point something, but I guess we'll see. Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.